Welcome to Playbook for Success, the ultimate podcast for professionals in the world of children's activities, play, childcare, sports, leisure, and beyond. Hosted by industry veteran Mark Rasche and digital marketing expert Mike Roberts, this podcast is your go-to resource for invaluable insights, strategies, and stories from inspiring leaders in these dynamic sectors. Join us as we sit down with experts, entrepreneurs, and innovators to uncover the secrets to success, navigate through failures, and glean essential learnings from their journeys. Whether you're seeking to get to the next level, build a thriving business, achieve your ambitions, or strike the perfect balance between work and life, among many other things, Playbook for Success is your roadmap to excellence.
Right, first episode in. Welcome everyone to the Playbook for Success podcast. I'm going to start with some introductions first of all. So my name's Mike Roberts. Thank you everyone for tuning into this first episode. I am the founder and director of Making Digital Real, and I'm going to let my co-host Mark introduce himself now. Go for it, Mark.
Thanks, Mike. My name's Mark Rasche. I work in a business called Sport and Activity Professionals, and we work with businesses in franchising, kids' activities, sport, leisure, childcare, health, fitness, play, lots of fun, interesting sectors that I've been in myself for 30 odd years and help build businesses in that space, and we kind of help them grow, improve, overcome challenges.
Brilliant. And before we bring on our first guest of the series, do you want to just tell the listeners a little bit about what we aim to provide with this podcast series and who it's for and what it's all about?
Yeah, so it's for providers in those sectors and kids' activities and play and those sort of things. And hopefully it provides some useful content, interviewing other people in the sector and learning from their successes and their challenges and how they overcame them and their failures and all those sorts of things, just stuff that will help them grow, improve, think differently.
So there's going to be lots of takeaways and lots of things that people can use to grow their own business and learn from the best of the best, like our first guest today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So let's introduce him then. So Mark Whitwood, you are the founder of Active Sports Group. Thank you so much for being our first guest of our first series. Please introduce yourself, buddy, and tell us more about you, the business, and why you do what you do.
Yeah, sure. No, thanks, Mike and Mark, as well, for letting me be numero uno on the podcast. Really looking forward to chatting all about sort of children's activity sector, sport, and just challenges, etc. So my name's Mark. I'm the founder of the Active Sports Group. We're a children's activity provider and have been in the sector since 2005. Yeah, nearly 20 years now. I guess we've expanded our services into other areas alongside sort of our delivery within the children's activity sector is where we're based. We run a small community facility that has 5-side floodlit football pitches as well. But sort of everything that we do is all focused around getting people active of all ages, really, having fun and finding the benefits of living an active lifestyle.
Well, thank you so much. And over to you, Mark, because I know you've got some awesome questions for Mark Whitwood.
You said you've been in since 2005. What do you enjoy about it? What keeps you in for so long?
It's just, I suppose it's passion is the key word. Like literally ever since I was, the age the children are that come on our programs and started participating in sport and activity at school, I realised that was what I wanted to sort of do from a very, very young age. I ended up playing a lot of different sports. I managed to play at some quite good levels representatively in cricket, football, and ended up running for Great Britain as well. And got to sort of sixth form, age of 18, sort of going to university, and it didn't quite work out in terms of that path of wanting to become or being able to fulfil the dream of being a professional athlete. I went over to university at Leeds to study sport. And there it just really continued my involvement in sport and in terms of becoming and learning to become a coach. And that was the next best thing for me, really, was like, how can I stay in sport? And that opportunity that was given to me to start coaching with youngsters was something I grabbed with two hands. Really, really enjoyed it. Worked for Leeds United for a few years, which was a fantastic experience. Worked with some great people, some ex-pros as well, and learnt a lot from some incredible people. And that really helped inspire me even further to sort of want to stay in sport. And then the opportunity came where I could start my own business, really. Was helped by the Princess Trust. It was just awesome to go on their enterprise programme, get the support and backing from an amazing charity who just empower young people and let you follow your dreams and everything. And like I said, my dream was to be in sport from a very young age, and I was 24 at the time when I began to start the business back in 2005. And yeah, I can't believe it's nearly 20 years next year. But it's passion, Mark and Mike, to be honest. That's what keeps you there, I think, wanting to make a difference, helping other people. And you can do that in what we do.
What was the business then in 2005? Because you've grown it to a huge level now where you've got your community facility, all these amazing things. What was it in 2005? Was it just you and some ideas?
Yeah, pretty much. I suppose at the time back then, it wasn't always the plan to start my own business. Kind of a bit forced upon us, really. Leeds United had been going through some problematic times as a football club, and a lot of people ended up losing sort of jobs, and there were redundancies right across the football in the community department and everything. And got to the point where I just had to sort of make decisions on what would be the next move. And I wanted to stay in football coaching, and some of the people that I'd met whilst I was at Leeds were doing some of their own bits on the side as well. And I was getting some ideas from what they'd been doing. And at that point, I thought, I could apply some of the skills I'd learned at university and in other areas of my life and have a go at trying to launch a business. And that's when I got in touch with the Princess Trust. Obviously, from a footballing background, having been at Leeds and going out to America, the business was launched as a football coaching business initially called Active Soccer. And that was how it was introduced back in 2005. The whole ethos around the introduction of the company was to provide fun, healthy and inclusive opportunities for young people. It didn't matter about your ability. It was about coming and finding somewhere where you could enjoy participating in sport, building your confidence, and most importantly, having fun. And that was the starting point, really.
So what we wanted to focus on this podcast, or this first one, is the principle of taking on big challenges. So can you talk us through your history of that and the latest one you did, which to me and Mike seems absolutely mental? But... Yeah,
so for comic relief, 14th of March, myself and one of our team members, Hugh, had sort of planned the middle of last year, really, that we wanted to make a difference, get more kids active and take on a bit of a crazy challenge ourselves. And we were just chatting and then came up with the idea of running 100 miles from Loughborough University back to our head office in Maghull. And when we went on and had a look at the maps and we're looking at the logistics and everything, it was actually 100.1 miles. We couldn't believe it. It was just a stab in the dark, really, to see would Loughborough work in terms of the distance and everything. And it had to be, because it was literally 100 miles bang on. So we looked at it, started to look further into sort of what we'd need to do to be able to get down there, get to the start line and try and achieve this massive goal that we'd set ourselves. And that was to run 100 miles without stopping, no sleep, and complete the challenge within 24 hours. And
you had some amazing words of support, didn't you, from some celebrities and things along the way?
With it being for comic relief, they were really excited by the magnitude of the challenge, really, what we were preparing ourselves to do. So they kindly invited us to a few events and things prior to the run commencing, which also included going to the London Palladium to the last ever show that Sir Lenny Henry did as well. So that was a really great evening of comedy, lots of fun and laughter. Got to meet a few people sort of that evening, talked about what we were going to do, and then just in the final few days, sort of leading up to the challenge, sort of received an inbox email saying, click this link, there's just somebody who's wishing you good luck, and it was the Nitro from the Gladiators.
Hello Mark, hello Hugh, Nitro here. I hear you're taking on the 100-mile challenge for Red Nose Day. That's awesome. As you tackle those challenging miles, remember that you are not only pushing your own limits, but also inspiring students to move, laugh, be a part of something bigger and make a difference. So from me and everyone at Comic Relief, a massive thank you.
My daughters absolutely love that because they've been obsessed with the Gladiators since it came back onto our screens, and it was all good fun. So lots of kind messages and support from various people.
So something like that seems incomprehensible to normal human beings like myself and Mike and everyone else. Can't even conceptualize how do you approach that's not a big challenge, that's a huge challenge. Running 100 miles in less than 24 hours. How do you approach something like that? How do you get your head around it?
I think like one of the tools I always use in everyday life, whether it be for the business or something that I might be doing myself from a sporting perspective, or even with my family, is just visualization, really, and visualizing sort of what that end goal could look like. Picturing sort of finishing, for example, with this one, the 100 miles, and then working back from that, really, and just breaking it into really sort of small bits, and not sort of making any challenge too overwhelming. And that's what I've done with everything, really, with it be running the business or running 100 miles. It's just getting through each sort of next stage of the development, the run or whatever it be, and then moving on to the next thing. And I find that sort of really helps in terms of being able to process it, plan it, and get to where you want to be. And be prepared for things not to go right as well, and manage it when it doesn't. That happened in the run on a couple of occasions. It happens in the business every day. Yeah, it's just being able to sort of adjust and be prepared to take that on when things don't go right, and accept it. And then I think the biggest thing is just really believing in what you want to do, and anything's possible. Then you can really achieve anything if you put yourself to it. It's an incredibly big challenge to run 100 miles in 24 hours, but it's mind over matter with a lot of stuff. And when you really put yourself to it, anybody can surprise themselves with what they can achieve.
What did you learn from taking on such a massive challenge, and what did you learn about yourself, and what did it teach you for other aspects of the business? I know you've covered off a little bit of that, but there's a lot of time to think on 100 miles, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of time to think. I think we were singing as well at certain points, and trying to keep ourselves entertained. It was running through the night was incredibly difficult, especially in sort of torrential rain as well. And I think it just taught me, like, don't give up. Remember, like, what you're doing something for as well. When things aren't going well, there's always a reason that you're doing something. In anything that you're doing in life, it could be just personal gain. It might be doing something for your family, for your friends, for somebody else. And that sort of really got us through the challenge. In terms of what I've learned, I think it's gaining confidence again from just being able to plan out a challenge and execute it, fulfill what we wanted to do. It just gives you confidence to apply into other periods, other challenges that lay ahead, really. I suppose they're the biggest ones, to be honest, Mike.
Like I said, for someone like me, I can't conceptualise it, and all I can think about is the knee pain I would be in. And obviously, people only ever see the end result. They see the 100-mile run and a fantastic success with that, but there must be loads of training and hard work that goes in before that.
Yeah, well, I'm actually just recovering at the moment because, like I said, I like a big challenge. I just did the Manchester Marathon on Sunday, which was probably a bit too soon.
Just a little light jog.
Just a small jog.
Did you get another PB?
No, not on this one, Matt. Doing the Manchester Marathon on Sunday, I was running with a mate actually who came and joined for a bit on the 100 miles, and he managed to, and I was trying to stay with him for half of it, and then the body was telling me no. After the 100 miles, everything started cramping, and I had loads of pain in hamstrings and quads and stuff, but managed to finish, which was good.
Do you think the mindset that you've put into these challenges and things like that affect the level of success that you're getting in business and how you interact with your teams and the way that they respect you. Do you think there's a connection there?
Yeah, certainly. Like, I suppose if there was a superpower that we've all got a superpower, I suppose if there was one that I could think was my own, it'd be resilience. And I certainly find that through these challenges that I've done over the years, and most recently the 100 miles, and just being able to apply that and know that you're going to go, when you've been through dark times and you've been through incredibly hard moments, that you can dig deep and apply that into the business. And I suppose if the team know that you've been capable of doing something extraordinary, I suppose, and they know that you're going to be able to rise to a challenge when there is one. And yeah, it's just trying to set an example as well, really. I'm not one to be sort of going on and telling everyone about what we do and what we've done. But yeah, I suppose quietly, if you can set an example to the team and to others about, what you want to do, I think it's only a good thing, really.
Yeah, you put your energy levels, from what I've seen from knowing you over the last year, I think you're the type of person that would put a lot of their energy and throw away all that negative energy into sport and getting yourself out there and active and just keeping yourself grounded and on track when it comes to business. That's the type of person that it looks to the outside world. Is that how you try and perform?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's important to be grounded. And fortunate that we're still in business, that you have your health and that you're able to do all of these things. But yeah, it's all about working with other people and helping other people, and that's the driver for the business. That's the driver sometimes for these challenges as well. What can you do to help the person next to you? And we very much sort of take that on board in the active sports group as well.
How useful, the actual act of running and training and all those sorts of things, did you find that easy or hard, or was it useful for other areas of your life? Or it takes up a lot of time, I imagine.
It does, and I've got 3 daughters as well, sort of 10 and under. So, juggling the day, juggling the business, juggling the family, and then trying to put the running in, it was a challenge within itself, but it often meant that it was either squeezing it in the middle of a day sometimes for an hour, or getting up very early, or attempting to run after you've put all the kids to bed and everything. And that was quite good in terms of from the training aspect of the challenge, and putting myself through a 25-mile run at 9:00 at night, or sometimes on a Sunday evening as well, because I was so tired from just having a busy weekend with the family and everything, that I was kind of putting myself through like a moment of what it might have felt like on the 100-mile challenge as well. Like, I'd been on my feet all day. I was mentally sort of drained, exhausted, and then sort of going out and running on your own as well in the dark, because it was sort of January, February time this year, miserable weather.
From taking on a massive challenge like that, what advice would you pass on to somebody else who's thinking of, taking on a big challenge? And those, that can be completely different. Not everyone's going to take on 100 miles. For some people, that might be starting their own business, going out on their own, whatever their version of a big challenge is, because you don't start off with 100 miles. What have you learned? What would be your best tips to pass on to someone going to be taking on a big challenge or thinking about taking on a big challenge?
Yeah, it's funny because after the challenge, I ended up going into we finished at a primary school in front of like 400 children and all the staff, and we're out as well. And I ended up going in the week after and doing an assembly to the children about sort of following your dreams, and that could be applied to anything, any challenge that they were undertaking in their young lives. And after I'd done that assembly, some of the teaching staff that had been on the playground the week before for the finish had came and spoke to us, and they'd been inspired from that finish to go and start with parkrun and go do a 5K that following weekend. And they were like, oh, I can't, it's nothing compared to running 100 miles. And I said, look, it's not about that. It's okay, that extraordinary, I suppose, to go and attempt to run 100 miles. But it's a challenge that you face, and that that could be of any size. And running a 5K for somebody, could be a massive challenge. They may never have run before, and it's, I said, it's just breaking it down to what that looks like for you. And what I mentioned before is just start with the visualization of like what you want to achieve, what you think it would look like, and then start to plan. You just need to properly plan what you're going to do. Make sure that you're giving yourself the time, the resources, and the support that you need, combined with the willpower and the vision. And like I said, anything is possible, whatever that might be, whether it's running, cycling, writing a book, it could be anything really. It's just really just having that inner belief in yourself, and you don't really realise what you're capable of until you push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone. And I always try to say that to everyone at work as well, like, you'll develop more if you try take on a project or reply to an email or a difficult conversation. We don't like having them. Who does? I don't. But like, if you go and do that, the development that you get from it is amazing. And I think that's all applied to these challenges, really. It's just pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, and you really, really, really can surprise yourself with what you can achieve.
And we know each other from the Children's Activities Association, so you're a fairly recent member. So do you want to explain why you joined and how it's been beneficial, or how it is?
Sure. So I think we've been members for just over 12 months now, and I'd been aware of the Children's Activities Association and sort of what it stood for, and the members that were already part of the CAA, and I just found it very inspirational, to be honest, in terms of sort of what that group and what the CAA stood for, what it was hoping to achieve. And it was all about sort of standards and quality within the children's activity sector. And having been in the sector for as long as I have, both sort of as a founder of a company, but prior to that, working for various different other holiday schemes and different places of the UK, I'm massively passionate about making sure that practices, the environment for children is the best it possibly can be, that it's safe and accessible. And I think that's everything that the CAA stands for, really. And I just wanted the Active Sports Group to be part of that. It was certainly a great decision for us to apply to become members and join a network of people who all share that same belief and passion, really. And it's about collaboration, and that's what I absolutely love about sort of the CAA and the involvement we've had so far. And having attended the conference last year for the first time, it was an amazing day, and amazing to be in a room of so many people that just want to make a difference. Everyone was there for the right reasons, really.
Mike, you've worked in previous sectors before. One of the things I like about the children's activities space, and I work in other sectors as well, is you get two people doing pretty much exactly the same thing in a similar sorts of area, and they actually get on really well because they see that that they're in it for the right reasons. Whereas I don't know what you think, Mike, but if you think of other kind of business sectors, they tend to be very competitive, don't they, and tend to automatically assume that anyone that does a similar sort of thing.
You've known me well and long enough now to know that I'm not corporate, and one of the things that I like about being part of this community is you're exactly right. It's all about collaboration, not competition. And even as suppliers to the CAA, there's a few people out there that does the same thing that I do. We work together. It's all about collaboration. And I think the CAA is a great group to be part of. And I'm definitely proud to be a trusted supplier. Definitely.
Mark, you so bought into the CAA, or assume you are, that you volunteered to be a committee director. Why did you throw your hat in the ring?
Yeah, it's about taking on challenges, isn't it? Well, it's two reasons, really. I think, firstly, just echoing what I was just saying before about the reasons why we wanted to join in the first place, was to be part of the CAA. And then once we're in it, how can we make a difference, really? How could I make a difference and try and encourage more members and try and help the CAA grow? I'm just so passionate about our sector that when the plans were unveiled for the strategy for the CAA and how they were looking to grow over the next 12, 24 months with all of the new sort of committee roles and board roles. I just saw it as a real opportunity to put my name in the hat, and then again push myself into a different sort of role that I've not done previously, and take on that challenge and just hopefully make a difference, help attract new members, help the CAA try and achieve its ultimate goal, really.
Yeah. So for anyone that's, if they haven't heard of the CAA, or if they haven't, thinking about looking into it, what would you say to them?
It's picking up on something Mike just mentioned before as well. Collaboration. Yeah, so you talk about competition, and competition, I suppose, exists in lots of other sectors and everything. But what's so special about the children's activity sector is that word collaboration and people coming together. And it doesn't matter if you're working sort of independently within the children's activity sector, or whether you manage a team of 50 to 100 coaches or franchises, you can come and join and learn from other people. And there's so many amazing, talented people that have got so many different experiences within the sector and they openly just share with each other. And I think that for me is massive. And running a business can be a lonely place, and I think joining the network and being able to get in touch or reach out to someone is such a strong thing, really, and that's what I'd recommend, that you can come and learn so much and develop by being part of the CAA.
Tell us about what we can expect from Active Sports Group this year or moving into next year. What big things have you got happening that you want to tell the world about?
We're continuing to grow our franchise network. So we've got 3 new franchisees joining the team at the moment. One that's just launched this month in Manchester. So our objective is to try and sort of continue to grow the network over the coming years, but certainly this year, hopefully with another sort of 10 area directors. I'm going over to Dublin at the end of next week. Owen, who's our first sort of franchisee and area director in Ireland, has been nominated along with some of our programmes for awards at the Irish Franchise Association Gala that's taking place next week. We want to try and support and grow the network further over in Ireland as well. And then alongside that, we're looking ahead at some of the other schemes that we can develop and support, and we're having a big focus at the moment on wraparound care and our new brand, the XT Club, which supports primary schools, with pre and after school club care, and we're looking at developing that right across our sort of network in time of September.
Do you want to wrap up then?
Yeah, no, I'd just like to say thanks to Mark for coming on and giving us the benefit of his experience and what it feels like to take on big challenges like that, what you can learn from it. And like I said, someone at your 100-mile run, for somebody else, that's a completely different thing. Everyone's big challenge is different. Like I said, for some people it might be starting the business, some people might be taking their business global or getting investment or getting to the next stage, whatever it might be, like a personal challenge, whatever. But I'd just like to thank you for the, those tidbits of really useful information. I think it'd be helpful for anyone to listen to it, and they can learn something out of it, and even better.
Yeah, cheers for being our first guest, buddy. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having us on. Really enjoyed it, and good luck with the podcast, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Playbook for Success. We hope today's episode provided valuable insights for your journey in play, kids' activities, or sports franchising. If you found this episode useful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. Your support helps us deliver quality content. Keep striving for success, and remember, with the right playbook, anything is possible.